Good morning, class. Today we'll begin a new topic, Introduction to Internet, Email and Social Networks. Let's begin with the concept of computer network. By definition, computer network is an interconnection of two or more computers for the purpose of communication and or sharing of resources. So the main purpose of computer networks is sharing of resources and the communication. To understand the concept of computer network, let's take an example of a family network. In a family network, there are family members. Family can consist of father, mother, and children. The family members are related to each other. That relation enables family members to share what they have. So the family members can share what they have within the family. Sharing means giving or receiving. So they can exchange what they have within the family. Using the same concept in computer network, the connected devices which form the computer network are also able to share as well as to communicate among themselves. Computer network can range from a simple network which comprises of only two connected computers to a complex computer network which comprises of millions of computers connected together with other related devices. On the diagram, we have a simple computer network and a complex computer network. On the left side, we have a simple computer network which contains only two connected computers together with a printer. On the right hand side, we have a complex computer network. That network is made up of interconnected systems of computers which are connected through internetworking devices and other related devices. After understanding the concept of computer networks, let's discuss the application of computer networks. How the computer network can be useful. We have many applications of computer networks, but for now we can only discuss 5 applications of computer networks. The first application of computer networks is sharing of resources. In computer networks, we have two types of resources. We have hardware resources as well as software resources. Hardware resources are those devices and components which we can touch and we can see. The hardware devices such as modems, fax machines, printer, and scanners are some of the hardware resources. We also have a software resource. The internet is the resource itself, and other are software resources in databases. So in applications of computer networks, we have sharing of resources, the hardware resources such as printer. Through computer networks, a number of computers can share a single printer. So we can have a floor of a building which is made up of a number of offices, contains computers, and we can have only one printing room where we will fix our printer, which is also part of the network, and all the offices in that floor can share that printer to print. Computer networks also enable us to share software resources. So sharing of expensive softwares as well as databases is possible through the use of computer networks. The third application of computer networks is communication among computers and the other devices. The fourth application of computer networks is exchange of data and information among users. So within the network, there are a number of devices which are connected together, and those devices can exchange data and information among themselves. The fifth and the last application of computer networks is sharing of information over geographically wide area. The use of social networks like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, all of them make us realize the use or the application of computer networks. It is through computer networks we can share information using the social networks. Let's move to the components of computer networks. The components of computer networks will enable us to know the main parts of the computer network. So the first component of computer networks is the devices which are connected, and mainly the devices are computers. So the first component of computer networks is two or more computers, since we cannot have a network of a single device. We need more than one device connected together to form a network. The second component of computer networks is transmission medium. When we have the devices connected together, we expect to have the medium of transmission, the path through which the data can be transferred from one point to another. So the transmission of data which enable communication depends on the transmission medium used. We have commonly three types of transmission medium in computer networks. We have copper cable, we have fiber optics cable, and the wireless transmission using electromagnetic waves. Copper cable transmits signals in form of electric signals. Fiber optics cable transmit data or signals in form of light signals. Electromagnetic waves or wireless transmission is done through electromagnetic waves. The third component of computer networks is network interface card or NIC. Each device in the computer network needs to have a network interface card. This component enables the device to be connected to the network. Our computers have network interface card. That's why they can be connected to the networks. The fourth component of computer networks is internetworking devices. Internetworking devices are those components or devices which enable the connection of various points of the computer networks. In the computer network, a single connection or every connection in the computer network is known as a node. So if we have a computer network or a network which contains of only two computers connected together through a cable, there we can have only two nodes, only 2 points of connection. The devices in the computer network or the components in the computer networks are classified into two classes or into two categories. We have internetworking device and host device. The host devices are those devices which can get service from the network. So the device like our computers which can get service are known as host device. The device like a printer which can offer service also are host devices. The device like a server which can offer service are also known as host devices. We also have another type of device in the computer network which is known as internetworking device. Internetworking device are those devices which enable connection in the network. So the duty of internetworking device the role of internetworking device in the network is to enable connection. So there are those devices like switches, routers, hub, bridge, and repeater are some of the internetworking devices which are there for connection. Take an example of an internet at home using a router. You can connect your computer to the internet at home using a router. A router there is just used for connection. Is used to connect your computer to the internet. You can use your computer to access internet, but the connection to the internet is done through a router. So a router is an internet working device like other devices, switches, routers, bridge, and repeater. The fifth and the last component of computer networks is the operating system. Host devices, computers, as well as internet working device, all can operate by using operating systems. So the fifth component of computer networks is the operating system. We already discussed the resources involved in the computer networks. Now let's discuss the benefits of computer networks. The benefits of computer networks will depend on the two, or will base on the two major purposes of computer networks. So the benefits will base on communication and sharing of resources. These are some of the benefits of computer networks. You can list more benefits of computer networks as long as you understand the concept of computer networks. The first benefit of computer network is cost reduction, or reduction of cost. We already discussed the sharing of resources, hardware and software resources. When we use a single printer for a number of computers, is obviously we reduce the cost of hardware devices. And when you use the centralized system, is obviously we reduce the cost of software. So through computer networks, we can reduce cost, the operational cost, the cost of hardware resource as well as software resource. Another benefit of computer networks is centralized software management. It is through computer networks where the software management can be done centrally. The emerging of management system. Nowadays we have a lot of management system, electronic management system. We have health information management system, academic records management system, a farmers management system, financial management system, and other management system. All systems can operate since we have computer networks, because it is through computer networks information can be shared and resources and communication can be done. Another benefit of computer network is improvement in computer system security. We need to communicate, we need the sharing of resource. We can have a single a central point where we will install our security features, our security tools like antivirus, and that antivirus will be shared by all computers or all devices in that system or in that network. So it is through computer network the improvement of computer systems can be realized. The last benefit of computer network is online communication tools or online communication techniques. We have emails, we have video conferencing, we have telepresensing, which are techniques used for communication, online communication. All those techniques can operate where there is computer network or where there is internet, which is also a computer network. Like other things, computer network also have disadvantages. And here we can discuss some disadvantages of computer networks. I know that if you understand the concept of computer network, you can list more or you can come with more disadvantages of computer networks. But to have concept, let's discuss some of the disadvantages of computer networks. The first disadvantage of computer networks is the cost of installation or installation cost. Computer networks to be there needs infrastructures, the network infrastructure. From the components of computer networks, we saw we have a number of components as well as systems, operating systems, which are needed for the operation of computer networks. So there is a cost of installation of those infrastructures, those components, devices, and systems to make the computer network useful, and that cost is high. Another disadvantage of computer networks is administration of the computer network systems. So administration of the system requires time, requires system administrator as well as time for the administration of that system. Another disadvantage of computer networks is failure of the server. Server is one of the components in the computer networks, and server is there to offer services to other computers or other connected devices which can request services from the server. So in case the server fails to operate, the services offered by that server will stop, and we will have to wait until the problem fixed for the service to continue. Cable fault or medium of transmission fault is another disadvantage of computer networks. When cable fault occur, also it can result into the stoppage of the service offered by the system. Now let's discuss the classification of computer networks. Computer networks can be classified based on the coverage area, or sometimes it can be classified based on the component roles, the roles of the component involved in that network. So first, let's begin with the classification of computer networks based on the coverage area. Local area network, or LAN. LAN is a network designed to operate or cover a small area, such as an office, a single building, or a campus. So this network can operate over a small geographical area. And LAN is simple and cheap to set up or install and troubleshoot. The area covered is small, so we expect to use a few components. So the installation cost or setup cost of a LAN is cheap. Also, since it is a small network, troubleshooting of that network in case of any fault is also simple and cheap. LAN is usually a privately owned network. It is owned privately. Like here at UDOM, we have our LAN, a UDOM network. And other institutions also have the LANs. You can also have a LAN at home. So LAN is privately owned network. LAN or LANs are building blocks for other bigger networks. Bigger networks are created by interconnecting LANs. Here is an example of a LAN. The diagram shows a simple LAN. We have PCs, which are host devices. We have a server, which is also a host device. We have printer, a host device, and shared database and software packages, which are also a host device. And we have this device an inter-networking device, which is there just to enable the interconnection of other devices. So in any network, like here in LAN, we have host devices as well as inter-networking device. Another type of network which classified based on coverage area is metropolitan area network, or MAN. MAN is a network that interconnects users with computer resources in a geographic area or region larger than that covered by LAN, but smaller than the area covered by WAN. So MAN is a network which is between LAN and WAN in terms of coverage. So MAN is larger than LAN, but it is smaller than WAN. The network which cover a whole city or a zone is an example of MAN network. A good example of MAN is cable TV network, as well as the mobile network backbone. So cable TV is familiar to all of us. And the mobile network backbone is the network which interconnects the telecommunication towers. So you can assume, or you can take an example of a telecommunication network, the mobile network. There are telecommunication towers, and those telecommunication towers are connected together to form a MAN, or metropolitan area network, a backbone of the network. Wide area network, or WAN. The third type of computer networks classified based on coverage area is WAN. WAN is wide area network. WAN is a network that spans over a large area such as a country or a continent. So from the level of a campus like a UDOM campus to a city like Dodoma, to countries like Tanzania, or to continent like Africa. Communication between WAN users is done through these telephone lines, satellite links, or similar channels. Most WAN network used it to transfer large blocks of data among users. Internet is just a giant WAN. So we have LAN, like a UDOM network, MAN, and the WAN. Other networks, classes or types. We have a special network known as VPN, or Visual Private Network. A Visual Private Network is a secure network that uses the internet as its main backbone network, but relies on the firewalls and other security features of internet and the internet connection and those of participating organization. So a VPN, or Visual Private Network, uses internet, but it has many security features. So it uses internet as backbone, but relies on the firewalls and other security features of internet and the internet connection and the firewalls of the participating organization of the VPN. Visual Private Network extends a private network across a public network and enables the user to send and receive data across shared or public networks as if their computing devices were directly connected to the private network. So if we have LAN, LAN is a private network. And we have other bigger networks which are public networks like internet. So Visual Private Network, or VPN, extends a private network across a public network and enable the users to send and receive data across the shared or public network as if their computing devices were directly connected to the private network. So the main difference of VPN and the other network is that VPN has a lot of security features which enable the connection of private network and public network, and that connection will encrypt data in that VPN, and the devices which are directly connected to the public network will appear as they are in the private network. So here we have PCs, a server, a router which connects this network to the internet, but there is a firewall. Firewall is for security, and here we have another network and firewall for security. So the firewalls and the security features are the main building blocks of the Visual Private Network. After discussing the classification of computer networks based on the coverage area and the other types of computer networks, let's move to the classification of computer networks based on the component roles or the function of the components. Here we have a peer-to-peer network. Peer-to-peer network is a network where peers or participating devices are equally privileged or equipotent participants in the application. So in the peer-to-peer network, all devices involved or participating devices are in the same level. There is no the controller of other devices. The device can request service from other device, and next time the device which requests now the service from other device can act as a service provider also. So in peer-to-peer network, there is no permanent client or permanent server. Every device can request service from other devices, and it can also give out services to other devices. Client-server network. Is a network in which all available network resources such as files, directories, applications, and shared devices are centrally managed and hosted, and then are accessed by clients. So we have peer-to-peer network where all devices are equally privileged. There is no a permanent server or a permanent client. A device can request service from other device at this time, and next time the device which is now requesting can also offer services to other devices in the peer-to-peer network. But in a client-server network, there is a central management of resources. So there is one device, a server, which can give out service to the client computers. So there are client computers which will request service from the server, and there is a server computer which will give service to the client computers. To understand the client-server network, take an example of restaurant services. When you go to the restaurant to get food services, in the restaurant there can be a lot of customers, and the customers will request service from the restaurant. The restaurant have a server, restaurant server, which will take the orders or the request from the customers and then will offer the services requested by the customers. So that is a simple example to let you understand easy the client-server network. So like in our diagram, we have client computers and we have one central computer which is the server. So all these client computers request services from the server. Like the way we use our system, the UDOM SCR, there is a system server as a central administration block, and we all can request services from the server. So we can use our devices to request services from the server. When we write the address of the UDOM SCR server, that is scr.udom.ac.tz, we make a request to the server in the central administration block. So up to that point, we are now all familiar with the computer networks. Later, we will discuss internet concept. So let's take a break and later we'll discuss internet concept.